Hi everybody, we are going to play a dance game today called Finding Your Inner Superhero. It's a character creation game, and basically you find a name for your character and you get to decide 3 superpowers that it has. So, for example, my character is called Little Giant, and Little Giant can make herself really big when needed, like Godzilla is really big, or she can get really small, kind of like Ant-Man, and so that gives her the advantage to go into places that are small. Her other superpower is that she's a trickster. So as a trickster, she can create illusions. Her third superpower, which is my favorite superpower for her, is that she can become any element. So she can become fire, or earth, water, air, or metal. And those dictate how she moves if she's becoming one of those elements. So once you've created your character and you've given it its 3 superpowers and its name, you're going to start thinking about how your character moves in relation to each power, and just in relation to the music. So, for example, how does my character move when it walks? So my character, Little Giant, when she's moving like earth, her steps might be more heavy. But if she's moving like water, she might float along the floor. Or if she's moving like air, her movements might spin around like the wind and go in different directions. But if she's metal, her movements might be sharper, right? And that's the same for our legs, our arms, our torso, the way our head moves, and then our expressions, how we express through our face is also an example of our powers, our superpowers, and our character. How we let our inner expression come out through our face is another thing to think about as your character expresses with movement. So when you decide on your superpower, does your character's arms move in a very rubbery way, a very sharp way? Sound effects are great, by the way. They help you move until the music's on. Do the arms move in sudden ways? All of these things will depend on what you decide your superpower is. Another thing you can think about in relation to the powers that you've given your character is it need to move softly and calculatedly because of its superpower. Slowly, or have these speed changes because of its superpower? Or does it need to be very two-dimensional? Perhaps your character needs to be invisible, so it needs to blend in with things, so it has a more two-dimensional movement. Or maybe it needs to go through a portal, so it has a more three-dimensional, constantly three-dimensional shape to it. So asking ourselves all of these questions about our movement helps bring our character to life. And things may happen while we're dancing where a story might emerge because of our superpower. We might be dancing and we're doing some sort of action that, like, I'm metal right now, so my arms are kind of like machetes, and maybe I'm cutting my way through a very thick forest, and then I see a fairy. So a story could start to happen as we move, or the music may inspire a story to happen. So you let those things unfold, or you could have a story already that you let inform your movement. Your character comes to life when there's music on. So these superpowers get activated when there's music happening. So what you want to do next is pick out some music that you like, Find the way your superpowers move, find the way your character moves with each superpower, and begin to dance. Most important thing is to have fun and use your imagination. I'm going to show you an example of Little Giant dancing so you can get an idea, but you don't have to move like me. You move how your superpowers help you move in your character creation. Let's go, Little Giant. Now, he and I developed all of these characters together. We have about 13 different characters. Many of them he created. One of the characters that he created is called Web Thrower. And so I'm going to give you a little example of him dancing Web Thrower. Web Thrower has 3 superpowers. One of his superpowers is that he can shoot webs from his hands. And another superpower is that he has electric punches. So if he were to punch anything, it creates an electric shock. And his third superpower is that he has blaster plasma arms. So this character has very powerful arms. And you will see that Cooper is an incredible storyteller. So when he dances, there's always a story being told. Each movement means something. So you'll see that in his storytelling, and perhaps that'll inspire you to let yourself have a story unfold in your dancing as well. Ooh, how lucky did you just get? Oh! Everything nice. Yeah. Whew. Make every punch you need. suggestion is to play a different style of music because it may make you move in a different way. So if you picked a style of music in the first round that was classical music, for example, it may make you move differently in your character than if you put on a funk song. That might make you move differently, or a trap song, or a house music song. So try different styles of music. So once you've created your character, you've danced with your character, perhaps you might want to draw a picture of your character, create a logo for your character, designate a color for your character. I also recommend that you write down your superpowers so that you don't forget them. Have fun!